Hi, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my corner of the internet. My name is Diamond, and on this channel, I just love to talk about different forms of media that I am consuming. And in this video, we are going to do a recap for the month of July on all the books I read, my thoughts, my opinions, ratings, all the good stuff. So, starting off, let's just run through the books I read. I read 6 books this month, okay? Not About a Boy, Capri, the Janes, After the Knockout, Capri 1.5, and Capri 2. So I don't even know where to start. Okay, I'll start like how I just named them. So, Not About a Boy. Okay, that book was, and I already did a deep dive on that book, which I will link in the cards and in the description box, like, so you can go check that in-depth video about how I really thought about the book. But that was a good read. It was very emotional. It was very like tugging at my heartstrings. I really felt for the main character. Her story was just sad, and overall, I gave the book. Let me pull up my story graph. Overall, let's see. Nope, that's my current reads. I'm pretty sure I gave it a 4. Yeah. I usually give all my books a 4. I don't read nothing I don't really like, and if I don't like it, I simply don't read it and I don't talk about it. But I gave it a 4. If you don't know what Not About a Boy is, Not About a Boy by Maya Hollis is a young adult coming of age novel about a teenage girl, Amelie Kaur, dealing with past trauma, grief, and addiction as she tries to rebuild her life in foster care, only to have her world upended by the appearance of a long lost sister, forcing her to confront her past and question her future. So basically, you're just like, you're going through Mel's life as she is navigating going through grief. She was going through addiction, so she was on her sober journey. And I think one of the things I took away is that it definitely was a coming of age book, but I went into the book completely blind. I just loved the book cover, and I remember just seeing people constantly talk about the book and how it emotionally wrecked them. And it don't take a lot for me to check a book out. Like, I'm gonna read it, see how I feel about it. So I went in and not knowing nothing about it, not knowing she had a long lost sister, not knowing about any of those things. And I'm glad I did, because I feel like sometimes when you go into a book blind, you can really feel the book. Like, if I had read that and I read the book, I would have been like, oh, okay, but me reading it, I'm like, oh, wait, she got a twin sister, a sister she don't remember at all. The foster system that or like the facility that she was in, they separated them because Mel was a twin that was the one that found their mom. The mom was pregnant, didn't know she was pregnant. She was having I forgot what it's called, but it's like when the baby is growing outside of the uterus. And so the mom was like, hey, I need you to call 911. Everything's going to be okay. And that's what Mel did. And everything was not okay because the mom did pass. And then her and her twin sister was put into the system because they didn't have no other family to claim them. And psychologically, Mel was not okay, but her sister was okay because her sister wasn't the one that found the mama. And so they separated them, and the sister went off and got adopted fast, but Mel kind of stayed in and out of the system. She couldn't really find a foster family. And so, or she was like 17. And I think the one thing I took away from the book is that the it was such an adult themed book, and I kept forgetting that these were literal teenagers that I was reading about, because everything was so casual. The use of drugs, alcohol, sex, like everything was just so casually mentioned in the book that, like, I kept forgetting that these are literal babies, teenagers. And I really felt for her. And in my end up video, I just talked about how I felt like part 2 was better than part 1. Part 1, it kind of took me a little minute to get into the books. It was a lot of different characters. You're trying to figure out what happened to her and what's going on. But in part 2, it was like, that was like her recovery, when she finally had reached a point where it was her breaking point, because she kept putting up this face that everything was okay, but everything was not okay, but she didn't really know how to handle it. And she started to revert back to her old ways, and she started taking pills again. And then she finally broke down, was like, I need help. And it really tugged at my heartstrings, because I feel like we've all, and if you haven't experienced it at some point in your life, maybe not, but I feel like me personally experiencing that point of just like, I need help. Like, I'm not doing good mentally, or you just holding everything in, and then she just finally had a break. Um, so I overall I did like the book. It did emotionally wreck me. I did cry. Gave it a 4. After I read Not About a Boy, y'all already know I'm working my way through Capri. Oh, not Capri. I am working my way through Capri, but I'm working my way through Jacko J's catalog. So I already read Capone, Capadonna, and now I'm on Capri. And I could see why people say that they like Capri books because her storyline is just really good. And I feel like every only daughter, firstborn daughter, care about everybody else in the family, puts everybody else above them and their means. I feel like a lot of women can relate to Capri. The only thing is I wish I had a I wish I had a man waiting on me at the end of it all. Even when Capri had went through dealing with Naeem cheating on her, dealing with the fact that not only did he cheat on her with multiple women, he cheated on her with one of her best friends, well, ex-best friend, best friends, and then had a baby by the girl. Okay, Capri went on this whole like self-discovery journey and separating herself from her family and putting herself first and learning how to be alone and all those things. And then she had her best friend, Meerkat. She had him waiting for her at the end. And of course, y'all know Miss Jacko J, she loves to throw a pregnancy in there. As soon as they start messing with each other and everything is well, somebody gonna end up pregnant. And that's exactly what happened. And I have been loving reading the books. Now, I would say now, because I'm currently reading 2.5, right? And Jocko J books are not that long, so you can really get through them pretty quickly, like pretty fast. And I would say I am enjoying the storyline. It is taking me a bit because there's like so many different things that's happening in these books. Okay, first of all, you always have some type of villain, okay? And in these books, it's somebody from their past trying to catch the twins and like send them back to prison. But now it's like higher level. We're not dealing with street stuff no more. Capri, my girl, she is going in. We're dealing with the governments, okay? They're playing games in the government this time around. And I feel like there's just so many different storylines I'm trying to keep up because not only are we reading about Capri, her storyline, and like her love with I want to keep calling him Meerkat. Her love with him and their whole like family situation they got going on. But we also have Capella and Amy because Amy got her whole little thing going on. And let me tell you something about Amy. Okay. I don't know, like, girl, okay. My thing is if you have a man like what's his name? What's that man? What's that boy name? Capella, Cap, baby Cap. You have a man like baby Cap. Okay. You have his daddy who is Capadonna, who twin brother is Capone, who basically like in the snap of a finger makes shake. You're gonna sit here and let a man, your ex, harass you and demand money out of you. Now, there's two things, okay? I completely understand why she feels the way that she feels. I understand that she doesn't want her man to find out, like, but it wasn't like, but I don't know though, because it's like, I can understand that you don't want your man to learn like your past and what you let your ex nigga do to you. But at the same time, okay, I don't know, because you could even string and be like, if you tell the full story, like it started off me and him together, she obviously had a bad relationship with her mom and her brother. Her brother touched her. Okay, that's already messed up. You get into a relationship with this man. He starts using you, basically using you, pawning you off, selling you off. Considering, what's baby name? Joy. Considering how Joy's storyline is and how Capadonna didn't care about none of those things, I don't think Amy knows Joy's full story though. I don't know. I just feel like Amy's character, she pisses me off sometimes. Like she really, and her having that abortion behind baby Cap's I keep calling him baby Cap. her having that abortion really shocked me. I said, "Oh, Oh, but I feel like she's struggling a lot. She's young. There's something obviously like going on with their son, and she got a lot going on. I feel like Amy just maybe, motherhood. I feel like she's struggling, but I also feel like Capella is a good man that is going to take care of them. And she keeps comparing herself to Aaron and Joy, and it's like, baby, them people is grown, and them, like, how Capella keeps saying like that's their household. Like what they do in their household is what they do. What we do in ours is ours. Like, she feels like she's not gonna be a good mother, a good wife, like none of those things. But it's like, y'all young, like it's okay, like you're gonna grow into those things. Like, I don't know, Amy, like I just want to shake her, like, girl, ain't no way I'm gonna have a nigga on my line harassing me, and my fiance is who he is, and his daddy is who he is, and his daddy's twin is who he is. They all gonna ride behind you 10 toes. We wouldn't even anyways. So that storyline is irritating me. Like, every time it's Amy's POV, I'd be like, oh, here we go again, Amy. Like, oh my gosh. Um, like, it's really pissing me off. And even Tasha making her way back around, like Tasha being involved. I'm glad she knows she's smart enough not to be going backdooring them twins. I would be too scared to cross them anyways. So I am enjoying Capri books. Let's just put it on that. I've read it, all of them before, and I am interested to see how it all is going to fold out. You already know Miss Jacques J, she's always going to keep on your toes. You never know what's going to happen, what's going to come out. But there's more and more characters being introduced, and I'm having a hard time keeping up with all of them. I'm not gonna hold you. Like, I'm trying to keep track because now you have different families intertwining with each other, and we're getting introduced to all these new characters, and I know all these characters have their own like storylines. And I would say that Quazim and Blair, I'm not gonna say that I'm not looking forward to like not reading their story, but that TV leaning hella far. Sorry, I got distracted. I'm like looking in front of me. I'm not gonna say I'm not like overly excited to read when it comes to them, because I also understand Quasim and why he acting the way he's acting, but he frustrates me. Him and Blair, I don't know, a lot of back and forth. I don't know, but I love my baby Capri. Oh, baby Capri, she is that girl. She is that girl, and I feel like we all see ourselves in Capri. Like, wow, I just wish I had a nigga waiting on me at the end of it all. What? Anyways, so yeah, Big Mama and Big Papa. Okay. So I am enjoying Miss Capri Delgado. What should we talk about next? The Janes. Okay. The Janes. I was introduced to this book because of Threads. Y'all know I got Warren pages, so I'm always seeing books that are being released. And I seen the Threads post, and the author was like, hey, if you love Frida McFadden, then you will love my book called The Janes. So this is a book I read when I was out of town. I literally read it in one day because we were not doing anything for real that day. So I read it in one sitting. Crazy book. I was actually going to sit down and make a separate video about in depth about how I felt about the Janes. But because I read it in one day, I feel like I semi don't remember everything that happened. I remember key points of the book, but I don't necessarily remember like in-depth things of what happened in the book, okay? But I just know the Janes, let's look it up. Sorry. I read one synopsis and then like I forget to do it for this other one. So. The Janes. The Janes by B.M. Harden is a mystery slash thriller about a woman named Jane who moves to a new community where every woman is also named Jane, leading to a surreal and unsettling experience where she discovers her life is part of a larger manipulative game. The plot follows her unraveling perfect life as she continues as she questions who to trust and what is real, with themes of psychological fiction and urban fiction. It was a wild ride. Okay, so you got this lady, her name is Jane. She has this perfect life, perfect marriage. I would say though, when I was reading, I couldn't tell if she actually liked her husband or not. He kept making advances to her, and she'd be like, "Oh, babe, I'm tired. Oh, babe, I don't want to do that. Oh, la la la." But they were ready to get a house, and they were freshly married, and it was it was time to like move into a house, start a family, X, Y, and Z, all those things. So she the lady, she's at the coffee shop, and the lady behind her is like, "Oh, hey, like I'm not to be eavesdropping on your conversation, but I heard that you looking for a house. Here is a realtor card, something like that happened. Like, here's a card, so I know somebody that could sell you a house." Sees the house, falls in love with the house. She's like, "Oh, this neighborhood is perfect. Everything looks so clean, and like you can see there's like she's like, I hear kids playing in the neighborhood, all those things." Okay. They sell the well, they don't sell the condo. They put the condo up for sale. That's where they was living before. They move into the house. Off rip, weird stuff started happening. Okay. She starts, all these women were like introducing themselves to her. And all their names were Jane. Everybody was Jane. And she's just like, odd, but okay. So they're like, "Oh my gosh, hey, like Jane, welcome to the neighborhood. Oh, you're so special. Like, you're a Jane now." And she's like, "Okay." But the Janes start like watching her house. The lady across the street watching her house. There's a Jane, the silent Jane. Now she's calling all these Janes different ones. The silent Jane, the blonde hair Jane, all these Janes. Everybody's watching her. They go over, there's like a little neighborhood party. They go over there. She's with the women, the men are with the men. Then her and her husband link back up, and he's like, "Yeah, this is weird. All the husbands were literally complaining about their wives. They don't love their wives. They don't like their wives. X, Y, and Z. This is weird." She's like, "Yeah, this is weird, but I love this house so much." She starts like making little changes around the house. She's like this interior designer. She's creative. She's all these things. And the other Jays are like, "Yeah, don't do that. We all have to have the same flowers. All our mailboxes have to look the same." And she's like, "What? Like, what the? Like, I changed this mailbox. They change it back. I put these certain flowers down. My flowers are ripped up." She starts losing her mind. Okay. And she had a best friend, and they worked together. Her husband also, they was well off. Her husband also like had his own company too. So they were well off. They had money. And as the storyline keeps going along, basically the Janes are like, "Join us, be a part of us." She like sneaks over, and they're like having some type of weird night where all these Janes are dressed up as like different things. And then she goes into town, and they're like, "Oh, you're a Jane? Oh, don't worry about that. Jane, you can have whatever you want. Janes don't have to pay. They take care of us." Stuff like that. Turns out this group of Janes, it's like a long, long history. It's like groups of them all around the country. They do stuff like take care of, like, okay, like for example, in the book, I hope this is making sense. In the book, the mayor, wife, he was cheating on his wife. The wife wanted to catch him. He kills his wife. They come clean up, make it look like it was a robbery. Okay. And because of that, now the mayor owes them. So like they were completing all these tasks and like cleaning up all these messes. And because of that, they were well off. They were good. Okay. Silent Jane actually turned out to be a fake Jane, and she was part of the FBI, and they was going to take them all down because they had tricked the main character into believing that she had killed this woman. And they said, "Oh, we got it for you. We'll clean it all up." But the lady actually was never dead. They had faked it. The main character goes and finds the previous husband to the Jane that was living across the street, and he's like, "Yeah, our relationship started off good. Then she wanted to pay me and fake for me to be her husband, and all the husbands are in on it, and we all just pretend, and we leave the house, and we all look the same, but we really just go and do whatever we want with our day." And basically they're paying them to be married to them. Okay. Long story short, the best friend had set the main character up because the best friend was jealous of the main character and her perfect life. And because her and the best friend had kind of lost contact after college, the best friend felt like, "You wasn't there for me when I was getting my ass beat by my husband. You wasn't there for me when I needed you the most, and we catch up with each other, and I found out that your life was all perfect, so I set you up." Because her abusive husband sister was a Jane, and she was like, "Yeah, he used to get drunk and tell me all these crazy stories about his sister and this and that, X, Y, and Z." And I thought, "Oh my gosh, this is perfect." So she set him. Now she didn't think it was gonna be like this. Okay, she did not know, had no idea it was gonna be like this. So she's like, what the fuck? Like, you set me up. She's like, yeah, you had this perfect life. I didn't want your life to be perfect no more. Like, I wanted you to suffer like how I suffered. And the silent Jane, they all end up getting caught. Best friend actually dies. She gets killed in the crossfire of everything. For some reason, the best friend left everything to the main character, and they end up adopting. The best friend had a son. They adopted her son. Everything. It was weird. I hope that made sense. To sum it up, basically, that's what happened. Like, it was just a lot of crazy things, all these situations. She's just like losing her mind. She's like, oh my gosh, they're framing me. Her husband's just like, I don't know what's going on with you. At first, I thought the husband was cheating on her. I up and down, I was like, oh my gosh, is the husband cheating on her? No, he just was like, girl, you crazy as hell. Like, you're losing your mind. And they would set her up real good just for her to be like, no, it was the best friend. It was a big old okie doke. But just not only was it an okie doke though, but the silent Jane, like I said, was end up being an FBI. So they made everything look like she was a Jane, all those things. So it's like, yeah, this is like the first of many groups that we're catching. So thank you, basically. So like, it was good for what it was. It definitely gave like Freedom McFadden vibes, psychological thriller vibes. Yeah, like everything was fake. Even the kids she was hearing was fake. It was like a loop of something. She was like, what about the kids? And she's like, girl, have you ever seen a child play in this neighborhood? Ain't no kids. It's just us, the Janes. Be a part of the Janes. She's like, I don't want to be a part of the Janes. They said, we're gonna make you be a part of the Janes. Just for her to be the best friend. I thought that was crazy. So that was the Janes. After I read that, I read After the Knockout by A Blossom. Quick little cute read. It was about this lady who, she was struggling in life. She found this group of people who was known for setting up men, taking all their money, XYZ. She was tasked to mess around with this boxer. What was his name? KO. That was his name. Or his name was Dakota, but everybody called him KO. She actually fell in love with the boxer. And they were like, hey, it's time for us to do the big old robbery, set him up, get his money, go on to the next one. But she fell in love with him, like, deeply. He fell in love with her too. Real girl, first girl he ever really truly loved. The night that he won, he was supposed to throw the match. He didn't throw the match. They came, they shot him. It was exposed that she was not who he thought she was. He felt betrayed. She ran away, but she made sure he was cool. She ran away, found out she was pregnant, never came back, had the baby, named the boy Dakota, I believe. And then there was some type of like big old storm, and she coincidentally, while she was going for shelter, ended up at the boxing gym. They go inside. He's also coincidentally there, making sure that nothing happens to his building. They cross paths. She's like, oh my gosh, it's KO. He's like, oh my gosh, it's the girl that I thought I would never see again who hurt me. Oh my gosh. And then here goes this little boy talking about mommy. And then the boy knew who his daddy was. He was like, oh my gosh, you're my dad. He was like, dad? Father? I have a kid? Whoa, this is years later, years later. So they had this whole thing where they were struggling. Obviously, they still had this attraction to each other. He still loved her. She still loved him. Now they got this kid, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be there for my kids, like my son's life." Like, she took that from me, but realistically, it's like, dude, what would you have done if I did come back? You hated me. I hated myself, damn. And she told her whole life story about how she was struggling and she had no money and this and that, the third. He's like, wow, okay, I can understand that. And then he just wanted to be in his son's life so bad that he just uprooted his whole life, moved in with them. And then she went from living paycheck to paycheck, trying to figure it out, to having a nigga take care of her who made a lot of money, who fights and box. And yeah, and that's what happened. They fell in love again. And my thing is, I felt like everything was happening really fast in that book. Like, I did enjoy it for what it was, but I feel like everything he did, it was like, oh my gosh, their first date. Not only is the first date that he planned, but he also brought his therapist. They had a therapy session on their first date to kind of hash out all their problems with each other. Okay, cool. Cool. And then the same day that they opened up the rec center that he wanted to open up for like kids to have something to do after school so they don't get into trouble, he proposes. But it also is like, oh, not only is this our proposal in front of everybody that came to this event, but we're gonna get married same day. Okay. I just felt like he was moving hella fast. But I guess like why waste time when we right here? I did enjoy it though. It was cute. So if you're looking for a cute little quick romance, secret baby trope, After Knockout by A Blossom. And that was all the books I read for the month of July. Literally, that's it. All the books I read for the month of July. I enjoyed all of them. Currently, right now, I can tell you what I'm currently reading. Mind you, I'm up 2020. I'm up 22 books. If I could read 7 books, I'll be back on track for 50 books this year. But I'm not too pressed about it. Currently, I am reading Capri 2.5, of course, Nemesis, Jolette, and The Seven Daughters of Dupree. Yeah, those are my current reads right now. And those are probably what I'll be talking about in the end of June. End of August. So, yeah. If you did enjoy this video, thank you so much for watching. Listen to me ramble and talk. And I love talking about books like they're mini story times because that's really what they are. I love recapping everything. But I feel like I have to do better at writing down how I'm feeling while I'm reading. So when I do come down and sit down and talk to y'all, it's not like I'm jumbled trying to remember exactly in-depth details about the books. Like, and I hope I'm making sense and not just rambling on and on and on. But I rated, of course, all the books a 4, like I said. And yeah. So thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like and subscribe. If you love watching lifestyle vlogs or like entrepreneur diaries vlog, I do have my lifestyle channel that I will link down below. All my links, of course, are always linked down below. Social medias, more pages, everything I always talk about in the description box. I also have a segment on this channel called We're Strangers But, and it's where I read your stories and give my little 2 cents unsolicited advice to your life story. So if you'd like to submit your story, that's also always linked down below. And I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.